What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cookie DAO today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 18th day of September, and here we are sitting at about 13.8 cents right now as it stands. We've got about 3 days and 1 hour left in this day. I mean, here on the weekly time frame, first off, I love where we are on the weekly. I really do love how fantastic this week looks so far. But if we're looking at this on a daily time frame, you can see we do have about 1 hour left here. Not a lot of volume. Not a lot of volume on Bybit, and Bybit is one of the larger exchanges for volume as far as cookie goes. So, that's not concerning. I mean, we're in this boring area. We're not really doing anything. We don't need volume. But ideally, whenever we start to break out one way or the other, we get some volume to come in to back that up, or maybe no volume to back up that move. That way we rip to the other side. I really wouldn't be surprised if we broke out to the upside. That's kind of my expectation at the moment. You look here, you found your high, you went down. You found your high, you went down. You found your high, you went down. High here, it went down. When you found your high and you didn't go down, you continued to crawl up until eventually you found your high and you went down. High here, went down. High here, didn't go down. High here, barely went down. I think that we're going to go higher. And what's significant about that here versus back over here is, to me, it looks like we're breaking out of this overall downtrend. If we move up from here, it looks like we're breaking out of this overall downtrend, does it not? So I think with that, we could see some exceptional behavior over the coming days. I mean, today's Thursday. We got tomorrow, Friday, but really, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we had a bullish weekend. We don't have to, and typically the weekends are boring, whether they're to the upside or to the downside. We typically do have rather boring weekends, but you never know. I mean, let's look at this. This big day was Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, this one was on a Tuesday, Monday. Yeah, typically we don't get big weekends. That was on a Monday as well. This very big candle here was on a Wednesday, Thursday. This one was on a Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes it happens, but not often, right? Most of the time, it seems to be on that Monday to Thursday kind of time frame. So I would expect we do continue to consolidate here over the coming days, maybe slightly moving up, and then next week we'll show our hand and we'll really start to break out going into the end of the month. I truly would not be surprised at all. Okay, we've only got 12 days left. I mean, essentially, I guess 12 days left, right? Because tomorrow counts as a day, so it would be 12 days left. Yeah, from the 19th to the 30th, that's 12 days. So time math is weird, you guys. I don't like time. It's my least favorite kind of math is time math. Honestly, I get tripped up. All the 60s and 12s and 28s and whatever. Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 12 days we saw new relative highs compared to what we saw back here in the end of May, all the way up above 36 cents. If we're not above 36 cents, believe me when I tell you, we're going to be well on our way. It's going to be quite obvious that that's the destination. When Cookie DAO wants to move, man, it moves pretty fast. And don't get caught up with what we did here. If you're comparing in your head, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're comparing in your head your expectations here to what we did back here, I think you're in the wrong kind of mentality, okay? Let's just kind of explain this. Let's go back. Let's look at this on a 3-day time frame. It might be easier. So, this move here, this move here was a reaction. This was a reaction of something very bullish being held down for like a month or two. Sorry if you hear my daughter, she's just excited. For a few months there, January to April, that's 3 months, right? So this was a reaction. It was like a relief rally here. Okay, this was the test run. Really what this is just a little bit of life inside of an overall consolidation phase that we've been in now, right? Maybe even if you want to include it from the top, we've just been in a consolidation phase. Once we break out of this, when we actually decisively break out of this and it's clear that we're no longer consolidating, we're ready for that next leg higher to new all-time highs, the pace is going to pick up. It's going to be a lot faster than what we saw before. It'll be something akin to this here. So I really do believe that when the ball gets rolling, it's going to pick up the pace as time goes on, right? I very much expect that a lot of growth is going to happen between now and the end of September, and then especially going into October. I think by the end of October, things are going to be exceptionally bullish. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll zoom back out. We'll talk about that in a second, okay? But I want to just look at what we're doing here, seeing if we're getting confirmation of what I said, what I assumed a second ago, which is that I think we might be boring for the rest of this week, and then next week is when we'll start to show some life. Maybe. Let's see if that happens. Looking at the 1 hour RSI, I can tell you, you look pretty bullish here, getting overbought, not getting oversold, getting overbought here, but now you're getting lesser overbought, kind of like you're rejecting the overbought zone itself, looking like you want to get a lower low even. I bet you go down, yeah. 1 hour time frame. Not dramatic, nothing dramatic. That doesn't mean that we see a lower low than this, but just lower than 13.8 cents. We look at the stochastics. We were overbought. We came out of the overbought zone. we're right at an area to bounce. If you guys hear my daughter screaming and laughing, I think she's being tickled right now. My wife is probably playing with her. Everybody's fine though. That's just some good old fashioned fun. I don't know how much of that you guys can hear or not, but that's that's just part of having a full house. We do have this same area that we're bouncing at where we bounced before, so it's a little bit of a contestation with this RSI where maybe this suggests we go lower, but this here provides the opportunity for us to bounce and go higher. We could really bounce here. We could be back testing prior resistance there, so I'm not really getting a solid read off of either of these. If I was to lean with one of them, I'd lean with the RSI, and that would make me think we go lower. The MACD also makes me think that we have lower to go, building bearish momentum here, so I'm sticking with that downside for now. But downside, again, doesn't mean anything dramatic. I would more think, sideways is probably the best kind of estimation here. We're at 13.8 cents. We probably won't be above 16 cents. We probably won't be below 12 cents by the end of this week. That's my assumption. We'll probably be in this range. Don't get dramatic with the lows. Don't get ecstatic with the highs, right? Looking at the 4-hour RSI, the RSI looks pretty bullish, honestly, overall. I like it. I mean, bouncing off the oversold zone here, getting deep in the overbought zone, deeper than you got oversold, which is nice. Pretty neutral but bearish before, and you've definitely shifted that to a more bullish stance. Rejecting the oversold zone, absolutely rejecting it. You had every chance to get down there, and you just didn't do it. You even broke out of your downtrend recently. But the thing is, sometimes you do make a move just straight up into the overbought zone, but oftentimes enough you kind of do this where higher lows, higher highs, you kind of trend your way up there. You've got a high point here. Might you come down, find support at the 50, and then move up? That could take you into tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. Again, providing the idea that maybe we move down a little bit, maybe we move up a little bit. We could move down to like 13 cents, 12.7 cents, whatever, and then by the end of the week we're back up to these prices. I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of the week we're at this exact same level here, or just something give or take like a cent away. But the 4-hour does look like it wants to go down, at least on the RSI. I would say it's bullish overall, but we probably do come down here, especially in correlation with that 1-hour time frame. The stochastics look bullish. They look very bullish. I don't have anything negative to say about that, other than I suppose you do have bearish divergence in all fairness, but there's sense to be made that divergence is already played out with this very small move. It's very insignificant divergence there. The 4-hour MACD is decaying in bullish momentum, but I don't really care. You've been moving sideways. It's the 4-hour time frame. I don't trust it. So with both of these indicators, I would think that that's enough to make me think we do go a little bit lower. The MACD is, to me, irrelevant, really. I mean, we're crossing above the zero. If anything, that's a positive thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean we have to continue to grow right now. The daily time frame here. Now, this is where the MACD does actually shine a little bit more. You can see we're starting to build some bullish momentum here, looking like you do want to cross above the zero. We tried that before. It was a farce. It was a false. We didn't end up sustaining at all. We came back down. Here, it's looking like we do want to cross above the zero and actually continue, which is nice to see. But time will tell. I would say that we have bullish divergence, don't we? We have higher lows here in the oscillators. You can see higher lows here while providing lower lows in the price. Bullish divergence right there. Cross above the zeros, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even by the end of the week, but sometime next week. If not, maybe by the end of this week. Maybe we are rallying by the end of this week. I have a thing against pumps over the weekend. We did that in the beginning, showing that that's not normally what happens. So I think that moving sideways, kind of consolidating over the week, or over the rest of this week, over the next 3 days, and then pumping into next week, that should be something that we see, right? I want to look at this on the weekly time frame. I have a thought in mind. I just hope I don't forget. Bouncing off the 50 here, got to admit that looks good on the stochastics. And the RSI, bouncing off the 50, looks pretty good too. So overall, on a day-to-day, I would expect that we go higher. Maybe we come down a little bit tomorrow, but still, that doesn't mean that we can't move higher, right? We moved higher here, and you had a red day there, and you were still moving higher on the day-to-day. So I wouldn't worry about that. What was it on the weekly time frame that I wanted to see? Oh, I forgot. I told myself I wasn't going to forget. I totally forgot. What was it that we were talking about? We were talking about moving sideways. Right. Okay, so by the end of the weekend, we'll probably be around here. Next week, we'll be moving up. I would like if next week we actually started the week off similar to what we did here. If we had a little bit of a wick to the downside, because typically you look at all these green weeks, most of them, not all of them, but most of them have wicks to the downside. Well, maybe not actually. Not for Cookie, man. Cookie actually is, look at these. These bullish weeks actually don't really have that big of wicks at all underneath them. It's like 50-50, man. So maybe that doesn't really matter for Cookie. That's okay. But looking at this on a weekly time frame, on that note, nevertheless, We are bouncing off the 40 at the same areas that we bounced from before, definitely in areas of strength. Well, areas where we'd expect to start turning the boat, turning the boat around, turning the tide to the bullish effect. The stochastics here are coming up to the out of the oversold zone, right? The last time that we did that, we saw a nice spectacular move from a low of about 7 cents to a high of about 30, what was that, 32 cents, I forget, 37 cents, 7 to 37 cents, crazy growth. That was the last time that we crossed out of the oversold zone, which we're getting set up to do right now, probably next week, right? Like next week, if we look at this, just look at, so this was last week to this week, right? You see the difference right there. This is where you were last week when you closed. This week is where you are now. Next week when you open up, you'll probably be out of the oversold zone. And the last time that we did that, whenever we got out of the oversold zone on both oscillators, it was here. I mean, we rallied for 1, 2, 3, 4, going into the 5th week there for like a month. A month from now, we're in October. We're in the middle of October, and October is notorious for being very bullish, you guys. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what we got. The MACD, also in similar areas that we were at before, whenever we found support last time. On the bright note to that, we actually do have lower lows here with higher lows in the price. That's hidden bullish divergence. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. So, and you're decaying in bearish momentum. So I really do believe we're kind of equivalent here with these first 3 weeks as we were here with these first 2 to 3 weeks here. Right? I think that the best is yet to come. And just like I was saying in the beginning of the video, I don't believe that we should compare it to this at all. I think we should more compare it to something over here, right? Obviously, it's not off to the same start, but it'll probably come to the same miraculous finish. I very much do expect that Cookie DAO will see prices all the way up at $1.65 by the end of October, if not higher. Going into the end of the year, we should be at like $3.90 or more. You never know. We really could be higher by the end of the year, and I'm expecting dramatically, fantastically higher prices than that by the end of the cycle. But I got nothing else for you guys. I think I've said it all. So if you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Take care of yourselves. Thank you all for being here, and bye-bye.